So we now know that we can use the counter of the loop to represent the index or the position within our array. We can use the Boolean expression section to test the array.length or test until we have seen the entirety of the array size. So now we are going to try and search an array using loops. We are going to use the for loop. We're going to use the while loop. So let's start at the for loop. The for loop is considered a sequential search because each element is inspected in sequence or order. And once we find our match, a Boolean variable will be set to true. Now this means that it'll start at index 0 and it will look for a particular value, and if it can't find it at index 0, it'll go to 1 or it'll go to 2 and it'll just increment by our counter. So for an example, if we created an integer called age and we prompt the user for an age and we convert it to an integer in the console.read line and then gave it to age, we could send it to a for loop. Now pretend we made an array called customer. We would say for integer count equals 0, and while count is less than customer.length, or the size of the array, let's see if age equals customer count. So the counter is going to represent the search. It'll start at 0 until it goes through all of the values or all of the array elements using the dot length. The dot length will tell us how many times we are going to run it, and it'll search from beginning to end, waiting to see if age equals any of its array elements. And if it does, then we can flag it and say, yes, then is valid age equals true. If it is never found, then is valid age would be false, and we would know that it is not an array. Now, there is some efficiency that we can do or add to our for loop, and that would be, instead of just having array.length, we can use a compound expression that this value is no longer true. In this example, for int count equals 0, count less than customer.length, and not, which is the exclamation point, not is valid age. So what about a while loop? The while loop is a useful method to search for a match on our exact value. It saves the programmer from writing all these if statements, and it also compares the variable against the size of the array length and the value of the particular element. In this example, while count is less than customer.length and the age customer does not equal the customer count, it'll check the entirety of the length of the array, and it'll check until it can't find a match.